Hi, folks. This is Kellyanne with Church Windows. We're going to go ahead and get started with today's user group or webinar. Today's topic is looking at the tech tips for November. Let me go ahead, pause my screen here, and get rid of this presentation that was going. And let me bring up our website. And you should now on screen see the opening page of the Church Windows website. If you don't go there often, you should check it out every month at least. Take a look and see what's there. We're always adding new content, especially to our blog and our new version resources, which can be found under support. The tech tips, we usually email those to the email on file for your church. So if you don't receive those, definitely give us a call and we can check what email we have on file. If you've never attended a webinar, you have a GoToWebinar toolbar, and if you look at that, there's a little arrow. It's orange or reddish colored to the side of the bar. If you click on that, that will collapse or open the GoToWebinar toolbar, so you can click on it to have it collapse so you can see what I'm showing you on screen. And then if you need to open it back up, just click that arrow again. Rachel is also in the room with me, and she will be answering any questions you have as I'm showing you the tech tips. You can click the plus by the word questions, and that will open that question panel, and you can type questions directly in there, and she'll answer you right back. After I show you all the tech tips, you might want to hold your questions till the end if you have any. I might answer those as I go through the tech tips. But once we get to the end of what I would like to show you, I'll just read any questions out loud and answer them for everyone. All right, so tech tips, as I was saying, those are emailed to you to the email and file for your church. If you're not receiving those, or you're not sure what email we have, then give us a call and we can check that. If you haven't received them, there's not always a specific date those are out by. Sometimes it's by the end of the month. I write them now. Kay used to write them, but she retired. Now it's more likely that Maureen puts out the schedule for these webinars, and there's always, I think this is the third tech tips we've done a webinar for, but she always schedules a webinar for that month's tech tips. So that gives me a heads up that, I better get those done in time. So last week I got those to our webmaster, and I think he sent those out Monday. If you do not receive those, or you want to look back at those, if you look in the section support along the left side, fourth thing down here is tech tips newsletters. And that's what I'm going to click on. We'll bring those up. Takes you to our tech tips page where you can see we have all the way back to July of 2014. Today we're going to look at November, so I'll go ahead and click on that. So you can access the tech tips either through the email we sent you, or again, if you can't find that and you want to get to the tech tips, they're always available on our website. So I'll click on download now, and that should bring up November 2016 tech tips. Let's dive right in. I'm not going to read these word for word. I'm kind of going to summarize each section for you. This isn't really as exciting as other month's tech tips, so we might be done faster than the 20 minutes these are supposed to run. And pay no mind to the time that shows in the bottom right-hand corner. I think this computer is behind. We must have one server that's lagging behind, because I just noticed that and thought I started early, but my telephone says it's 3:04, so we're fine. First topic here is version update. The email on file was sent, I believe it's been about a month, maybe it was only a couple weeks, time flies, but within the past month we did release SR1, and that is specific to version 19. Version 19 came out earlier this year. SR1, that was emailed, and there was a link in the email that took you right to that service release. That is also, though, on our website as well. Now, to install Service Release 1 or SR1, you do have to have version 19 showing on the opening screen of Church Windows. I'm just going to go down and open Church Windows here. Notice upper right corner, I see my version 1916.1. If we hadn't installed SR1, it would say 1916.0 or .0. So you want to make sure you're on version 19 before you install this service release specific to version 19. Now that is all also, if you can't find that email, that's also on our website. I'm going to click here on the link that's in the Tech Tips, download current updates. And that, excuse me, that takes you directly to the current updates page where version 19 is right up at the top. And it does tell you it's an update for users currently on the Updates and Support program. Version 1916.0 must display on the opening screen. So if you're on a prior version, then this update is not for you. You want to make sure you're on version 19, and then you can come here and update to SR1. Or maybe you received the email. I think one of the emails had a full install that was 1916.1 and 19 all in one. But don't hold me to that. So many emails going out lately. If you're not sure if you should install this, then give us a call. We can talk to you about it. It does mention here, if your software shows a previous version, call to purchase updates, or you can call and check and see if you're on the most current version of that version. This was released, 10/20. If you're looking for prior updates, if you look under support, there is a link to download prior updates. And you can see some of the service releases for some of those. We do not put a full install. Some people are like, can I just go right to the download page and update to 19, from 18 to 19? We do not put full installs on our website, or else people could come just right to our website and get the program for free. So that's why we do put service releases on our website, but not the full installs. All right, let's look back at the tech tips. Whoops. I just get mixed up when I do this because you just have to keep hitting back to bring it up. Here we go. Last thing I want to mention under version update, we used to send out CDs for updates. We're kind of aligning more with how other software programs or companies do things, and we are not mailing CDs for updates or service releases at all. Updates, we email you a link to download that. Same for service releases. Some churches prefer a CD though, so if you would rather have a CD, then give us a call or an email and we can send you a CD. But all updates and service releases we are doing via email from now on, unless you specifically ask for a CD. All right, I cannot believe Thanksgiving is next week. Seems like every year older I get, the faster time goes, and Christmas, it's almost here too. That means it's time that a lot of churches, if you're on a calendar year, some churches are on fiscal years and may not need to open a new year, but you might need to send statements and things. But it's that time of year where we're getting the calls about envelopes and changing envelopes and labels for the letters, doing statements, opening New Year's and accounting to put budgets in. You can learn about all of those things if you don't want to have to wait for a phone call. I typed up a little section here about the end of year resources. Also thinking ahead in January. If you've been with us for a while, you know January is the busy time for churches and for church windows. We have extended hours. We're even here for 3 hours on Saturday. But do keep in mind, if it's your first January with support, in January, our call volume is through the roof usually. So it does take us a little longer to get back with you than our average time return call any other month. So don't wait until January and put really important projects off where you need our help, because we don't want you getting frustrated that you have to wait longer for a call back. So now's the time to start doing some of these end of the year things. And here's our January hours, just to remind you, in January we have those extended hours. Mentions here, you got to run statements, reassign numbers, all those New Year's things. If you didn't know, we have a New Year Prep and Help page, and I included a link here in the Tech Tips, so I'll click on that. Opens up the New Year Prep and Help. If you can't find your Tech Tips, to click on that link. Over here along the left in the support section, right about the middle, we have New Year Prep and Help. If I click on that, it takes me right to the same page. This is all free information. If you look over kind of the middle here, or for this table, the left side of the table, there are all kinds of documents. Some are short end of the year steps that just say here, go here, here, here. Or there's some longer versions where it goes into more detail. We have information for membership. If you're on version 19, I don't think there's anything you have to do for end of the year. But version 17, there were some other things you had to do for attendance. Donations, we have documents on donations, New Year steps, specific topics such as labels and exports for envelope companies. If you have not converted to donations, we have some documents that walk you through the end of the year steps for contributions. Same for accounting versus the older program financial. If you're still on financial, accounting's been out since 2007, so you might want to look into converting to that. But we have documents for either the newer accounting program, it's not that new to me now, or the older financial. Payroll end of year steps and backing up your data, and even movies if you prefer movies. We have movies that show you the different things to do in your new year and the different modules. And come December, I believe we'll probably have a few, I haven't looked yet, but we might have some live webinars like this going through some of those steps. So all kinds of help here for you to get ready for the new year. You might want to, if you have some time, a lot of these, well, there's documents you can look at really quick. The movies, a lot of those are quick 20-minute movies. Some may be longer. But instead of waiting until January or waiting until December, right around Christmas when you're really busy, I mean, I think everybody's starting to get busy now with Thanksgiving next week. I know, again, I can't believe Thanksgiving's next week. Take a look at some of this now. If you have a free minute here or there, go ahead and take a look. If you've been with Church Windows for a while, you may have those end of the year steps down, but if you're like me, you only do it once a year, so you might need to come back and have a refresher. Again, this is all free information, so free documents, movies you can take a look at, help you get ready for the end of the year. If you have budgets, you can go ahead and open your new year in accounting and start getting those budgets in now. If they've been approved, if you need approval. But yeah, all kinds of things here to help you get ready for the end of year. All right, let me go back to the tech tips now. And let's move down to page 2. This was a suggestion of MJ, Mary Jane up front. She answers the phone. I usually ask all the techs to give me suggestions for tech tips because you don't want to just hear from me. I want to hear tips from other people and the receptionists up front. MJ wanted people to know more about the cloud. We have a lot of customers who have gone to the cloud, really like it. It might be something you'd be interested in. The cloud is where you can use Church Windows anywhere, anytime, from a computer, an iPad, your phone, tablet, Macs. Church Windows is a Windows-based product, so some people set up Parallels so they can run it on a Mac, but that may not always have the best results. The cloud might work better in those cases. Essentially, your data is stored and held by, we have 2 different cloud companies, Voss and Novel Aspect. They have big servers that hold the data, and basically you, at any computer, tablet, phone, however you choose to access it, you log into your Voss or Novel Aspect seat, and there you see your Church Windows that you then log into and access your data. And you can do that from, as it says here, you can use a Mac, MacBook, iPad, Android tablet, iPhone, smartphone, computer, but that eliminates the need to network computers because you can, on any computer, jump on there and access your seat and then access Church Windows. You have the same Church Windows as you do if you were to have it on your local computer hard drive, and it's very secure. No actual data, it tells you here, is transferred back and forth. It's really secure. Last sentence there under secure, we would not risk our decades-established reputation of trust on anything less than absolute safety. So your data is secure with these companies. Now, and again, it works the same way as if you had it on your computer right there at the church or at home. Now, there's some advantages here. You can access it from almost anywhere. You're always going to have the most up-to-date Church Windows version. You don't have to do any installing or updating. The host company, VOS or Novel Aspect, takes care of applying updates and service releases to all the Church Windows users. You still call us for support with your Church Windows program if you ever have problems with it opening or with your seat not working or something that has to do with the actual server on the VOS or Novel Aspect end. They have support as well. It's not our companies that are hosting your data. So at times we may tell you, we're going to have you call them. Same Church Windows, same program you're logging into, and again, you call us still for support. Now there is a monthly service fee for going with VOS or Novel Aspect, but that service fee that you pay for being on the cloud, that includes your regular Church Windows update and support. Now, hardware and data advantages, it's disaster proof. Whoops, I accidentally hit my keyboard. Let me go back up. Disaster proof because the program and the data are hosted off site. So if your computer at the church crashes or you have a flood and it's dead, it's okay. Your data is hosted off site. It's not on that computer. You're just using that computer to access it. The program and short-term data backups are constantly and automatically made in multiple secure locations, so they do backups for you. You can easily restore your recent data if you need to. Tells you also reduced hardware and network costs. You don't have to have your computers networked for Church Windows. People at the church could, without you being networked, they can access their data on the cloud. You don't have to have a super fast, brand new Windows 10 machine. It just has to be able to access the internet. Now your internet speed, if that varies or it's slow, that you might want a faster bandwidth because you are going through the internet to access your data on the host VOS or Novel Aspect. And last, you can have any mix of computers because the computer you're sitting at and using isn't the one that has Church Windows on it. It's the VOS or Novel Aspect server that has your data, and you're logging into the cloud and logging into your data that way. Now there are also system requirements. I went ahead and just said go ahead and you can take a look at the Church Windows web page. If you look along the left under Explore Church Windows, you can see here Church Windows Web. And that's how you can also access this. And you can see I pretty much, because I'm not a cloud expert, most of that was from here. All this function, everything I cut and paste from there. But below that were all the system requirements. I didn't feel that was needed to add that to the tech tips as well. So if you're interested in going to the cloud, definitely take a look at the page that talks about the cloud. The tech tips have most of what's on that page, but bottom half of that page talks about the system requirements that you need to make sure your computer and hardware meet so you can go onto the cloud and have it work successfully for you. All right, last thing, I always include this in all the tech tips at the very bottom of the last page, backing up. Please always remember to make a backup of your data. And I don't mean a backup from Carbonite or another company that backs up your entire computer. What I'm referring to, here we go, backing up is down at the bottom. We can click on the link here. It takes you to a document or the page where you can click on System Backup. And there's a nice document that talks about backing up your data and how we really, every once in a while we get a call where somebody does not have their data. A computer crashed or they got a virus or just something happened and they have no data and their data's gone. And we hate those calls because if you don't make a backup of your data, at least once a month, I would maybe make one weekly. Some churches keep a flash drive and they create folders with a different day of the week. And they may, at the end of each day, they make a backup and they overwrite the prior week's backup for Monday or Tuesday or so on. And that way they always have the most recent copy. You can make a backup to your desktop and that's better than no backup. But if that computer crashes or you get a virus, seen a rash of the crypto locker virus where you get locked out or a ransomware virus. If something like that occurs and your backup's on your desktop, you may not be able to access it. So we do recommend put it on a flash drive or something you can throw in your briefcase or purse and take out of the church. I mean, if the church were to catch fire and that flash drive were on your desk, your data would be gone. So I don't mean to sound scary, but computers aren't perfect, and if something were to happen and your computer crashed and you didn't have a backup of 10 years worth of Church Windows data, that would be a real sad day. We would not be happy for you. So please make a backup of your data as often as you don't want to lose your data. Let me show you real quick how easy it is to do. It only takes a few seconds. You just go to Administration, Backup. You can click on, well, I choose what to back up, and I'm going to back up everything. Can click on Browse. Now here is where I don't have a flash drive, but I'd scroll down, find my flash drive, and click on that. I'm going to click on Desktop just to show you how quick it is and easy. Then I click Start Backup. I probably shouldn't have said quick and easy. Watch, something's going to happen. Here we go. Okay. I already have a backup on the desktop. It's asking if I want to delete it, so I'll just say yes. Now your backup is not going to show as many files as mine does. We have so many layouts here that whenever we get customer data, they end up storing. So do not fret when your backup says a much smaller number backed up than mine. And yours will not take this long either, because you probably do not have this many label, statement, directory, report. You probably don't have all these different layouts that you see it backing up for me. I need to ask Van or Robert an easy way to zap those out of here and just have the ones the program comes with. All right, so normally that backup would have taken half the time, but you can see I have a zillion files here. You will probably have like 5 to 10 files maybe in a much smaller database. But here you see upper left, CWMSDA with a zipper, a folder with a zipper. That's my backup. So if I had backed that up to a flash drive, I could toss that in my purse and know that if I came to the church tomorrow and found the computer had crashed and I could not open it and we had to get a new one, I could call Church Windows and have them help me install a blank copy of Church Windows and restore that data from my flash drive, and I'd be up and running. So make backups. If you need help making a backup, or if you have questions about anything, definitely give us a call and we can help you with that, or you can email support@churchwindows.com. All right. Someone did ask, what's the success of cloud-based versions with churches that have very large databases and up to 10 users at a time? And Rachel did answer that and said she wasn't certain to call and ask Mary Jean. She handles a lot of those cloud orders. But I think recently we did just have a church that bought a large number of seats, because you can't only have one person on a seat at a time. If you only buy one seat, then only one person can be on the cloud using Church Windows. And most churches do only buy one seat, but I think we did have a church recently that bought 10 or 15 seats. And I haven't heard MJ say anything about, them having issues or it not working. But yeah, I think probably best, Linda, I would go with what Rachel said and give Mary Jean a call up front, ask specifically to talk to Mary Jean about the cloud. And she could probably give you more insight on that, because I haven't heard anything about that, so I don't know. All right, are there questions? That is all I wanted to show you. Sorry, I went over by about 4 minutes. Here I thought today's tech tips were kind of dry, and I was going to only take 5-10 minutes, but let me talk. I can talk for days. So, are there any questions? All right. Well, if you're in the middle of typing a question, go ahead and hit enter, and then I won't close the room. I'll wait for you to finish typing the rest of your question. I just don't want to close the room while you're in the middle of typing something. But if there are no questions, which I don't see half a question being sent or anything, I'm going to go ahead and end today's webinar user group. Again, those tech tips are on our website if you want to pull those up and print them if you didn't get the email. Thanks again for attending, and hope you learned something new. If you have any questions, again, give us a call or email support@churchwindows.com. And everybody have a great day. Thanks. Bye.